Let Teressa Ikimi contribute greatly to the development of Edo today. Obaseki, na him talk this one. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki don talk say Madam Teressa Ikimi na ogbonge person wey live good life. He talk this one for the funeral mass for late Teressa Ikimi wey happen on Friday for St. Augustine Church, Benin City. Obaseki con still talk say Teressa Ikimi contribute wella to the growth and development of Edo State and con still talk say the life wey we get so na to give to others and Baba God.
We've lost a very great daughter of Edo, Auntie Tessie Ikimi was a woman who lived a life of sacrifice. She was there to support everybody, and she contributed meaningfully to not only to the church but to the social circle of this town. As the chief catering officer for the Benedio schools and university, she was ever present at most people's functions. So we'll miss her, but we thank God for her life of sacrifice. You can see how she has pulled people together, even in death. Everybody who is here today who has interacted with her has one story to tell about her, but underlining that story is what they benefited from her life, how giving she was. So as people, as Christians, we should just know that this life is not about us, it's about how much we're able to give to others and give to God.
Reverend Father Daniel Agbona for him sermon con talk say Madam Teressa when they call Auntie Tessie na person wey give to people and help people wey no to get for the society.
A unique story of the life of our dear sister, whom we call so dearly in this parish as Auntie Tessie, and I'll tell you why. And I'm sure she is telling a story as well of a blessed assurance, an assurance that she can rely on, an assurance that will never fail. My dear brothers and sisters, the mystery of life and death, it's like a journey on a train. We know where the train travels, to life eternal, but I cannot vouch and speak for anyone where you as an individual is going. Today we are telling the story of Tessie Ikimi. And in John chapter 14, from verse 1, Jesus was speaking directly to the apostles, giving them an assurance, a hope for a future that every one of us would have to live out. And yet, that future causes us a lot of pain and consternation because of our lack of knowledge and understanding. People are afraid. People are worried. We fear for the future. And most of all, we fear for what will happen when we die, only because we do not know. The scriptures has given us a lot of stories. But you see, as human individuals, until we see for ourselves, it is hard for us to say that we know. And so it causes a lot of fear in us. Jesus would say to his apostles in John chapter 12, verse 4, about this mystery, do not be afraid, he says, of those who can kill the body, and after that can do no more. I tell you, this is in Luke chapter 2, by the way. It says, I tell you the one that you must fear. Fear him rather, who after killing the body can destroy the soul in hell. And in John chapter 14, the particular passage I had mentioned, Jesus said to the apostles, let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God and believe in me also. In my Father's house, there are many mansions there. And if not so, would I have told you? And then he challenged the apostles, you know the way to the place that I am going. Then Thomas retorted, Lord, we do not even know where you are going. How can we know the way? And Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And no one comes to the Father except through me. Dear brothers and sisters, I believe the one question that every one of us, rightly thinking individuals, should ask ourselves is very simple. What is my purpose on earth? Yes, while we come to mourn our dear sister and friend, Tessie Ikimi, but it should be a moment of sober reflection for every one of us. What is my purpose on earth? Why did God put me here on earth? What kind of difference does God want me to make? And what story would I be telling when my time here is done? Tessie has lived her time on earth. Like a candle in the wind, she has passed this way but once. And let me quote from a tribute that was written by our dear sister, Dame Marie, yesterday and was read here on the altar. And you will find it in your program. It says, and this is the part I want to emphasize on. She says, Tessie was born to love and to serve. A selfless giver in the true sense of the word. She was known for her unbridled generosity with all her possessions. A loving servant of God, family and friends and strangers. And down further, she says, to the wayfarer or one who needed help, she was ever ready and willing to go out of her way to help. Her hospitality knew no bounds. A time for planting, a time for uprooting what has been planted, a time for tears, a time for laughter, a time for mourning, a time for dancing. Yes, indeed, we mourn, but we cannot change the fact of history that Tessie's time had come. And that is why God, in his wisdom, has chosen to call her home. My dear brothers and sisters, this is a journey that every one of us to travel. And yet, in the midst of the fears and consternation that we sometimes feel, there is great hope and assurance.
Omo Aluke Ajakaye, TMC TV News. Don't forget your PVC na your power. Not tell them give any politician on election day.